Okay, so this video might be a little bit longer than the rest of the videos on this channel, but we are shooting for around an average probably of like 3 to 5 minutes, but always no more than 10 minutes. And hopefully this won't exceed the 10-minute limit. Um, okay, a little bit about this channel and what it's supposed to be doing. The goal is we the group this group YouTube channel, we are a part of a English 1102 class called The Rhetoric of Breaking Bad. And so we are analyzing Breaking Bad, the storyline and characters and things like that. For our digital project, our group is going to be analyzing all of the characters, and we will each have 2 or 3, really just depending on the amount of characters throughout the season and things like that. 2 or 3 characters that we will be analyzing. Okay, so and it's going to be on a basis of season. So for instance, this video is a Jesse Pinkman analyzation. So it's going to be an analyzation for all of season 1, the ways that he changed and the ways that he didn't change. Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and start because it's already been 2 minutes and I don't want to go over the limit of minutes that each vlog or video can be. Okay, so Jesse Pinkman is introduced in episode 1 as a character who is most literally what time and consequence has made him. You can tell from when Walter White approaches him and tells him, look, you're going to be my business partner or I'm going to turn you into the DEA. So right then and there, Jesse has no choice other than becoming his partner and cooking meth with him. And granted, he had just lost his partner when the DEA busted him anyway, so he didn't really have a choice from that aspect either. So in his life, you can tell that one small bad choice has yielded this huge life of just drugs and violence and things of that nature. So, and then in this episode, you also are shown that the minute the danger looks at this kid in the eye, that he hides. Because when Emilio and Crazy 8, when they recognize Walter from the DEA bust, what does he do? He runs and tries to get out. Ends up knocking himself out on a rock, but he tries to get out and he doesn't want to deal with the potential violence that will occur. Alright, now in episode 2, of course, sorry about that. Okay. They're trying to dispose of Emilio's body. And so, Walter tells them to go get a plastic container, a specific plastic container, and Jesse decides to not take Mr. White's advice about the stupid plastic container. So what does he do? He uses his bathtub. So the acid eats through his bathtub and the body falls through the ceiling. So that happening, and then the fact that Walter cooks the purest meth that Jesse's ever seen, those 2 facts just make Jesse trust and respect Walter White. In episode 3, he doesn't really have a big role, or nothing really about his character is revealed. But in episode 4, you can tell that things are starting to get to him and starting to bother his psyche. Like, he talks about how when he smokes meth now, he starts to hallucinate, and you see him hallucinate about 2 big biker men trying to come kill him, but in actuality it's really just 2 Mormon people trying to advocate. So after that, he decides to go visit his family and get out of that house because it just reminds him of bad things. And while he's there, he finds a paper that Mr. White graded in high school, and he finds an inspiring comment on the top. Well, it's not really inspiring, but it goes to show that Mr. White does believe in Jesse and does see, he sees that light and the potential that Jesse has. And then later on, the cleaning lady finds a joint in Jesse's bedroom, and his parents decide to kick him out. But before he leaves, the perfect child, Jesse's younger brother, Jake, comes outside, thanks him for taking the fall for the joint, and then asks for it back. And this is where you see Jesse. This is like the first time that you see Jesse as like an innocent, or not really innocent, but like you see him proving that he cares about people and that he doesn't want this for anyone else, when he just flat out destroys the joint and is like, no, I'm not going to give it back to you. So that's where he proves that he cares about his brother. And in episode 5, Jesse gets dressed nice in a suit and tie and tries to interview for a job, but finds out that the job is not what he suspects it to be, and ends up finding his friend Badger and invites him to make meth with him, since he's recently out of his partner Walter. During the time where they during the time where they're cooking, Badger's, just messing around, and then Jesse's legitimately trying to cook, and he's really excited about all the science equipment, and he's using lab safety that he learned from Walter, and that just goes to show that he clearly learned stuff from Walter, and he's trying to be like Walter. And in fact, he's trying to cook the meth like Walter did, and is not able to, and that really frustrates him. And he decides, I'm not gonna try and sell this meth because it's not the quality, it's not glass quality or whatever it's called. And that, eventually makes Badger Max. It's like, you're wasting product, and so Badger ends up having to walk home. So that goes to show that, Jesse really does care about Walter, and he's learning things, and he's excited to learn. And then in episode 6, Jesse finds out about Walter's cancer because he recognizes the chemo scars from his aunt, and that scene was another scene that just proves that Jesse cares about people. He, lets Walter take a break, and he takes over cooking. So, and then later on in that episode, Jesse's innocence is highlighted during his meeting with Tuco, because he gets beat up really badly, and you can just tell that this is not, he's just not cut out for this kind of work. This isn't what he usually does. He's just some addict, he doesn't want to be a part of this life, really. He's money hungry, but that's everyone, right? So his innocence is definitely highlighted there. And then in episode 7, you can see his innocence being highlighted again during the meeting between Tuco, Jesse, and Walter, and then Tuco's 2 friends or partners, whatever. When Tuco violently attacks one of his men, Jesse and Heisenberg or Walter kind of look at each other, and they're stunned. Even Jesse, who is essentially a part of this drug lifestyle, you think, he's still just shocked, blown away, and just like, wow, this is not a guy we need to mess with. So I'm about to run over the 10-minute mark, but basically from season 1, you learn that Jesse is not cut out for this. You learn that he's just as lost as Walter when it comes to this violence and things like that, and actually really even less than Walter, because Walt is able to convince Tuco to buy all his meth and things like that. So you essentially, when you're introduced to Jesse, I think you're supposed to think that he's an addict and that he's a no good, scumbag, but really he's just as innocent and just as, just as caring as the next person. So that's my analysis for season 1, Jesse Pinkman. Thank you for watching.